Hi, I'm Michael Artsis. Thanks so much for joining us here at InfoComm 2015 from Orlando, Florida, the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida. Just footsteps from Disney, from Universal Studios, from all sorts of great theme parks. It's a great atmosphere here. InfoComm's really an amazing show about digital signage, about drones, about communications. I think it's like the corporate electronics show, but they really focus a lot on education and the educational aspect and bringing people together. Additionally, when they talk about education, it's not just about educating the folks in the business, but it's also about educating the youth and the future people in the business. It's really an unbelievable organization. This is an unbelievable event, and we're proud to be part of it. You're on the digital signage stage right now. That's where we are. This is in the digital signage pavilion here at InfoComm, and BeTerrific is proud to be the official live stream of the digital signage pavilion, and so we're going to be bringing you live continuing coverage throughout the week. I am so excited about this. I've got a wonderful crew that makes up David Kleinstein, Chris Voncino, and Adam Holst. They work so diligently behind the scenes and do such a great job. We got to get them out there right from the beginning. And of course, we couldn't do this without the wonderful people at InfoComm, which include Jason McGraw, who just had the vision to see this through and to help get us here. And we got to thank him, of course, Debbie, and all the other wonderful people who work at InfoComm who have just been amazing. They're just great folks. InfoComm is just a great organization, and you're going to see that throughout the next few days, how wonderful this event is. We're going to bring you a lot of the sights and sounds, and we're proud to do that. We're very excited to be here for InfoComm 2015 and be your official live coverage of the Digital Signage Pavilion. I think you're going to learn a lot about digital signage. I think you don't realize how long digital signage has been around and what digital signage has to offer. It is everywhere these days, pretty much everywhere. And I think some of the biggest issues in digital signage we'll talk about this week. You know, people think about digital signage, well, here is my digital signage. What do you do after you've actually put that in, you've had an integrator come tell you what you need, install it? We're also going to talk about how to do it yourself. We're going to talk about do-it-yourself content, do-it-yourself digital signage, and a whole lot more. So it's going to go from the very smallest to the very largest installations and everything in between. All right, we're going to get right to it. There are plenty of ways to contact us, by the way. You can do it in real time. You can join the Terrifics. You are the Terrifics. You make BeTerrific special, and you can join our other Terrifics in our BeTerrific Slack chat. All you have to do is go to beterrific.com/Slack, write in your name and your email address, and press go. We will then send you a Slack invitation, and you can join the conversation in real time. We can read your comments and questions, and some of those questions and comments will make their way on air, but you can converse with our other viewers, the Terrifics, in real time as well. And this happens 24 hours a day, but when we're on air, we can read these comments and questions as well. You can also reach us on social media, at BeTerrific TV on Twitter and Instagram. That's a great way to connect with us as well. And don't forget, you can email us. We'd love your feedback. connect@beterrific.com. And of course, you can give us a call, but you're going to have to leave us a message because we're not in the office, 201-735-7711. Now, I want to tell you we've got a ton of technology packed in here. We've got a lot of great sponsors that include Vadio, Panasonic, and NewTek. We've got the TriCaster 8000 running this whole setup, Vadio PTZ cameras, and of course, Panasonic digital signage making all of this work together very seamlessly and well. You'll find out more about this technology throughout the week as well, and we'll have some surprises with people Skyping in from all over the world thanks to TalkShow from NewTek, one of their newest products. All right, without further ado, I want to get to our first guest. It's taken way too long. The excitement has built and built and built, and it is finally here, InfoComm 2015. I've been excited about this for a long time. Tom Searcy is joining us from ClearOne. Tom, thank you so much for joining us, for being here, for being our first guest on the set this morning.
Well, thank you for having me. Good morning.
Tell me about ClearOne. You guys are a very interesting company. You fit really well in the digital signage space, but you do a lot of different things.
Yes, ClearOne is really known as an audio company. We've got a very long history of being a market leader with a very strong brand in the digital signal processor, so we do a lot of audio conferencing, and the theme of our show here is tying it all together. And one of the things that we did about 5 years ago is we started acquiring video companies. First one was a streaming company where we can stream video from various sources, and then digital signage, that was the company I was with, and then a couple of video conferencing companies. So ClearOne is more than just a audio company, it's very much a audio and video company, and all of that technology is really tying together here, and we have a lot of new products at the show.
I think that some of the coolest things we talked about is you guys do a video wall using encoders so that you don't have to actually use a processor. Now, I'm going to give everybody a little insight. I know video walls for a very long time. In fact, I've been around video walls since I was a kid. And I've seen them set up and what it takes to set them up, so I was very impressed with how you can do it without a processor. Saves cost, saves time, and allows you to operate it a lot more efficiently.
Absolutely, you can. You basically have one decoder per frame in your video wall if you want to have full resolution, or you can actually do the video wall on the encode or the decode side. So it's the nice thing about it is it's very flexible. Most of what we add into the encoder and decoder engine are licenses. So we have licenses for doing composition of video walls. We can do some human interaction. So for example, you can go into a decoder and remotely control an encoder on a far end and trigger some external devices to play. And we can do local playback, so it's extremely flexible. And having this this kind of a solution where you have these different licenses makes it where you can simply just add the parts that you need.
Can you tell me about your history? You got to ClearOne. It's kind of an interesting path, I think, because the company you were with was acquired by ClearOne because they saw the vision of what you guys were doing and wanted it, and it specifically plays into that video wall technology.
Absolutely. So Magic Box was a standalone company, started in 1995. We operated until 2011 when ClearOne acquired us. Part of the reason for that acquisition, they'd already had the streaming encoders and decoders. The streaming encoders and decoders we've just released are actually our 4th generation of that product, and what they were looking for, they kind of had the highway to go ahead and send content out. Now they were looking for sources to put in and offer a a unique solution that was kind of soup to nuts, everything someone would need for doing some digital signage, content creation, software, players, and then the distribution.
What do you think of InfoComm so far? I mean, you've gotten a chance to set up your booth and walk around just a little, but isn't it remarkable, especially with all this amazing digital signage?
It really is. I've been doing this show, I think this is the 17th year I've been here.
17th year?
Yes, I'm dating myself.
Wow.
So it's very impressive. I mean, the Digital Signage Pavilion, there's some amazing companies here with some great technology. It's been very innovative, and I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out. But I think it's going to be, I think we're going to have more people this year, and you're going to see some new innovations.
What do you like most about InfoComm?
Well, I get the chance to see, some of the customers I've been working with for, coming on 20 years. Sometimes I only see them once a year, sometimes I see them every other year. It just means if they show up. So, reconnecting with friends, meeting new people, it's just you kind of get a pulse for what's going on. I think that this will kind of set the tempo for what we can expect in the back half of the year. So I'm really expecting a great show.
I think it's going to be awesome. I'm very excited about it. I've walked around and just been blown away by some of the stuff I've seen here. And last year I was just amazed. It was remarkable what they put together here and how well they do it. How did you get into the business? Were you always interested in technology?
I wasn't. I was actually working in the healthcare industry. The company I was working with was going through some changes, and I literally just decided to change industries. I found somebody who was selling some assets called Magic Box, actually, and I bought those and started a company out of them. So it was a leap I took many years ago. I'm not sure that I would do it today, but I'm glad I did.
It's pretty awesome. I think that you're not sure you would do it today. Why wouldn't you do it today? I mean, that seems like a good path. You bought the company, you bought the assets.
Well, I bought the assets.
You turned it into something.
Well,
a lot of hard work, but entrepreneurial.
It's a lot of hard. It is
and then
a
you
hard.
get acquired.
Yeah, it is a hard. Yeah. Well, yeah. No, that's actually that's. And quite frankly, I think you're going to see a lot more acquisitions in this space. I mean, I see right now there's somewhere, it depends on the numbers you believe. If you talk to some of the consultants in the industry, you're probably looking at 400 to 600 providers of content management software and players. And to me, quite frankly, that's too many. The top 25 players clearly do 90% of all the installs. So there's a lot of room for consolidation. So I guess when I say that is that I think you have to have something, I don't think everybody's going to survive. I don't necessarily that's a bad thing or a good thing. That happens in industries that are exploding. A lot of people get into it, and then the cream rises to the top, and the good people will survive, and the good companies. There's plenty of good companies here, absolutely.
I think there are plenty of good companies here, and I think you say it right. The cream does always seem to rise to the top. It would be nice if we get a little bit more downward as well.
Absolutely.
I think that's
I mean, we're one of those small companies, so I'd like to see all those small companies do well. I've got a soft spot in my heart for anyone who's willing to go out and be an entrepreneur and make things happen, and all the effort it takes into making something successful.
How were you able to do it? I mean, that's not easy. Did you have to raise money, or were you able to take the assets and make it work all on your own?
I go back to when I started. I basically didn't pay myself for a couple years, so that was a little easier earlier on in my life than it is now. I had some amazing engineers. I had some really bright guys. We kind of developed a culture where everybody was in sales. The whole idea is that everybody's selling all the time, and we had a very, very good reputation for customer support. So, those are some of the things that made us successful. Really the people.
Yeah.
They made me look good. My guys made me look good. You know what? I'm just the guy, sweeping the floors, making sales calls, doing everything. My guys that work for me made everything happen.
Well, and that's the way it works here at BeTerrific behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
These guys do everything.
No, I can tell.
Yeah. They do an amazing job,
sure.
But that's the way it has to be, especially with a small company. So talk about ClearOne and some of the other products. First of all, you have a product with you.
I did, actually, yeah. I brought one of our decoders. I mentioned earlier, we're on the 4th generation of our streaming encoders and decoders. It's called View Pro. One of the things that we do very well is very high quality color. So we can do what's called 444 color. That means there's no chroma subsampling.
So that's the best color space right now in video. That is the highest.
Yeah, it doesn't get any higher.
If you were doing ProRes, HQ, or you were doing 4K, that's what you would want to have. You don't have to have it. You can certainly go to 4222.
And quite frankly, even at lower resolution, if you have something at 420 resolution at 1080 and something at 444 at 720 or lower, you put them side by side. Most people will choose the 444.
So you need. Let me just explain this to people.
Sure.
In the encoding world, an encoder is a transmitter, basically.
Encoder ingests video, ingests signals, right?
Yep.
Turns them into an IP stream.
Yep.
Goes across the network, and then the decoder decodes them.
It's the receiver,
That's
basically.
Right.
Just
That's right.
so people understand. Okay.
Absolutely.
So how much is that product cost?
We just lowered the price on this. I honestly don't know.
Okay.
But they literally just, I think it's around $1,100 retail.
Wow, that's very low.
Right. So we actually have 3 levels of encoding. We have, 3 levels of decoding. We have our encoder, which has 2 HDMI inputs. It's got multiple USB, multiple audio inputs. Unique thing about it is each one of those inputs can be turned into a different stream. You can even de-embed the audio and send it somewhere else to bring in another audio source. So there's a lot of control that you have. On the decoder side, we have a very high-end decoder that we'd use for video walls, allows for frame accurate synchronization, and then the next step down is this. This is our D210. This is just being released here at the show. This still does the 444, very cost effective. And then the third way we can do it is we can actually put out, since we're in H.264, we can put out a stream that can be picked up by VLC or any other third party.
Wow,
that's the licensing. Yeah, absolutely. That's very powerful.
That's really, really great and very powerful. I think it's very impressive that you get the video wall to make big picture and do everything else with encoders and decoders. That is really, really remarkable. I don't know how you do it, but it's impressive. What do you have to have at the other end? Or do you sending a small portion to each frame?
Well, there's a couple ways to do it. You can do everything on the encode side, so you can have multiple encoders with inputs, and those can all drive individual monitors, or you can have a video wall where there is one decoder per monitor, and that's what's going to give you typically the best resolution, the best look. So there's a couple ways to lay it out. We did a big install in Yahoo, Japan, where they have numerous video walls. Pretty much every room you go into, there's a video wall. We have something like 17 video walls, all using this technology.
It's really great. It gives so much flexibility, and you can use it for everything, video conferencing even. Tom, thank you so much for joining us. How do people find out? ClearOne.com, or how do they get in touch if they want to buy
booth
stuff?
2259. Please stop by and see us.
Okay, so if you're coming to InfoComm, it's booth 2259.
Yep.
And it is, so it's 2259 or ClearOne.com.
ClearOne.com, that's correct.
All right, thank you so much. That's Tom Searcy. We'll be back with a whole lot more right after this. And if you're coming to InfoComm, don't forget to come visit us. We've got a seating area. You can come watch this happen live. We are booth 5187 in Hall C, 5187 in Hall C. And this is the live continuing coverage on BeTerrific of InfoComm's digital signage stage for InfoComm 2015. Tom was amazing. Check out ClearOne.com. We'll be back with a whole lot more right after this. Don't go anywhere.